Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, I cannot bet for Tottenham when they're playing Arsenal and their injury and suspension list is literally a starting 11. When it's so big, it doesn't even fit on my phone screen. When not only your starting goalkeeper is injured, but also your backup goalkeeper. When you have a back four of center backs all injured simultaneously.
That's actually crazy.
Welcome to episode 23 of the CoDaKrew podcast. We are back with our regularly scheduled matchday predictions, and this week we are covering matchday 1 of the Premier League. If you don't already know how the scoring system works, we have there are 10 games in every week. We get 1 point if we correctly predict win, loss, or draw, and there are also multiplier rules. Multiplier rules are on screen now. Also on screen now are last week's results. And as you can see, I got 9 points last week. Kaiba got 4 points last week, which means the score in totality is me being up 20, 109 to 89. This is quite the deficit. It seems to balloon week after week, Kaiba. What do you have to say for yourself?
Um, Look, man. Okay, here's the thing, right? I think at this point, I think we can just accept the fact that we're tanking. Okay, I
Yo,
am
you're
tanking.
tanking.
I am tanking for the next season. Cooper Flag is in the next draft. It's okay. I am losing on purpose now. Okay, so I
Yes, you're
don't.
gonna get a top tier basketball player playing
You're
for
right.
you.
You're gonna
Yes,
sign a basketball player, and they're gonna help you predict the Premier League matches. You're
yes,
right.
they are. So it's okay. I am not worried. This was intentional. So
Brother,
it's okay.
half our audience heard you say that. I was like, "Who the hell is Cooper Flag?"
Oh yeah, for those who don't know who Cooper Flag is, he currently plays at Duke. He is a
And they
crazy
don't know what
basketball
Duke is
prospect.
either. That's the problem.
Duke University. I am pretty sure people know what Duke
Bro,
University is.
You
personally,
think I don't think people in the UK know what Duke University is.
it's a
No, I think
university in
it's pretty well
Durham, North
known.
Carolina. There
Yeah,
you go.
I would say it's decently well known, Duke,
Is it?
but
Okay, maybe.
it is pretty
Okay.
well known.
But
But
anyways,
yeah,
Kaibo, you should not be telling people that you're tanking because then they'll think that it's not entertaining anymore.
it's okay. It's okay. It's all right. It's okay. I feel like my predictions still have value. It doesn't take away from the value of my predictions. So it's okay.
All right.
Sure.
You know what?
Sure.
It means that your predictions are more spicy now.
Yes, that is true. Yes.
Are
Yes,
you?
and
'Cause
that
I
means
feel like
top tier
your
entertainment.
predictions have not been that spicy recently, but we'll see.
They haven't. They
I
actually
mean,
haven't, but I don't know. It may be a little different this week.
yeah, but when you tank, you turn it up.
That
You
is
try
true.
something
I
True.
do
new.
turn it up.
You know,
That is
instead of
true.
starting your normal players, you start some other players you haven't tried yet.
Yes, exactly,
Interesting.
dude. Exactly. Yep.
Okay. Okay.
All right, shall we get started?
Yeah, let's get
Yeah.
started.
Okay, so our first match day is Brentford versus Man City. So Man City looks like they're back in form. Brentford just thrashed Southampton. So let's see what you
And
guys
then
got.
proceeded to lose to a championship team in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Oh, not just any championship, the last place team in the championship.
Yes. I mean, again, it seems like City are coming back. I mean, here's won 8-0, which is honestly like pretty funny. Like everyone was stop padding in that game. Let me just say, dude. It's crazy when Jack Grealish scores, okay? I just want to say that.
Jesus, man.
And also, I do want to say that was off of a penalty, so if you want to count that or not, that's up to interpretation. But
Yo, why
he
did they even let
scored
Jack Grealish take a
technically
penalty? By the way.
because no one else played, and Jeremy Doku took the second penalty.
No, I know, but like I have never seen. I can't. I think of a time Jack Grealish has ever taken a penalty. That was just kind of funny.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
But it's
But
good to
again,
see.
yeah, like City they're making a bunch of transfers. I genuinely think these are smart transfers. People are going to say they're panic transfers. I don't think so. I think these transfers do make sense. Unlike PSG and what they're doing with Kvaratskhelia, which I'm sorry, that's just a guaranteed flaw for me. Okay, that just sounds like a horrible signing. Same with AC Milan, Marcus Rashford rumors. Like that's just why would you do that? But these signings right now, they make sense for City, right? I'm pretty sure it just came out today that Marmouche and from Eintracht Frankfurt has agreed to personal terms with Manchester City, and they're currently negotiating transfer release prices. Right, so Marmouche again, amazing player. That's something that I feel like because he doesn't just play striker, right? He plays on the wing and whatnot. So it's amazing signing, right? We have Kusanov again, Ramos regen, greatest center back prospect since Virgil van Dijk. Again, amazing signing. City is back. City will be making it back into the top four. They will be playing Champions League, and I can guarantee that 3-1 win for City.
I also have a 3-1 win for City. I think you said that basically perfectly. I mean, Pep is finally learning to adjust to losing his defenders by playing a more pragmatic and fluid style. And so I think that with players like, dude, look at how good Savinho and Erling Haaland have been recently. When you have players like that on your squad that can just step it up because that roster is just so insanely strong depth-wise, and they're even bringing in new talent every year. I mean, I think I can definitely see Brentford with their strong offense scoring a goal, but I think this should be easy domination by City.
Absolutely.
All right, it seems like you guys are in agreement there. In that case, let's move on. Chelsea versus Bournemouth.
I'm
Man,
going to be
okay.
honest.
Yep.
This downfall by Chelsea
Yes.
has been kind of terrible. It feels like Enzo Maresca said they were not title contenders, and then that statement has just been manifesting itself ever since. 2 points in the last four Prem games is kind of atrocious. That being said, I think that the problem is like the wingers rotation. Like he keeps like substituting Sancho and Felix and Madueke and Neto every game. But here's the thing, right? They still got Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer is still playing like Cole Palmer. And as long as he can just carry them and break down the Bournemouth midfield, then I think they should be fine. And I feel like Chelsea, right? I know they've been really bad, but like surely it does not continue. Like at some point, it's gonna the bleeding is gonna have to stop. I remember earlier in the season, I made a bold prediction that Bournemouth was gonna beat Chelsea, and in that match, Bournemouth absolutely dominated, but Chelsea won 1-0. So I could see the same thing happening again. Chelsea got an undeserved 1-0 win.
Mm, I see. Interesting. Okay. Um, I do also have a Chelsea win. However, give some. I feel like you are not giving enough credit to Bournemouth. They're undefeated in their last 8 games. And fun fact, Bournemouth has netted the most goals in the entire Premier League via substitutes, and they've scored 10 goals from substitutes. That's
Damn.
33% of all the goals that they've scored.
Right?
How do you
Which,
know this, dog? What?
Because Kaibo does
dude,
research.
Yo,
I'm the
Kai was
goat.
actually built different, dog. All
Okay.
right.
So again, this team is. I know Chelsea's a very deep team, but I mean clearly Bournemouth. I mean they have options off the bench, right? And
Hmm.
I do have to say that obviously I do feel like Chelsea's going to win. They, like I said before, they are going to pull off an undeserved win somehow, right? Chelsea have an amazing midfield, right? Um, but if we actually look at the last two matches that Bournemouth has played at Stamford Bridge, they've lost their last two visits there. So unfortunately, I have to give this to Chelsea, but I think Bournemouth does definitely have a pretty good chance here.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, it makes sense. Chelsea's pretty terrible form has to end at some point, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Anyways, let's go on to West Ham versus Fulham. West Ham has lost their last two matches, and Fulham have been on pretty decent form. They're unbeaten in their last five. Pretty good. What do you guys got?
Man,
Let's hear Kaibo
West Ham
first.
have a new manager. Yep.
Hmm.
Um, Graham Potter. I think I don't know. I mean, again, I have to give this to Fulham. Fulham have been undefeated in their last 10 Premier League London derbies. Fulham have, I guess, I would argue, relatively better form than West Ham. Um, so again, Fulham also isn't on the best form, but I would just say West Ham has just been pretty horrendous recently,
Hmm.
and I just don't see them winning against Fulham.
I would say that the form of West Ham and Fulham it's a little bit deceptive because when you look at like Fulham's away record, for example, recently they won against Chelsea because Chelsea completely choked. They won against Liverpool, or not won, but they drew Liverpool because Trent Alexander-Arnold completely lost his head for no reason, and Tottenham just happened to I don't know Tottenham just happened to have a bad game. So I feel like they've kind of gotten a bit lucky with the recent fixtures. And then on the other hand, West Ham, they literally just played Liverpool and City. And I know, and this is just in time for City to get back in form, by the way. And then they played Villa in the FA Cup. So I think we shouldn't glean. I don't think we should glean too much from the form because it's the teams are the quality of the teams they're playing is also quite different. Um, I should say I think with bringing in a manager like Graham Potter, it usually when you do bring a new manager, there is like an initial boost that occurs. And especially, I think for someone like Graham Potter, who I think like he is in his element, managing a mid-table team in the Premier League. I feel like that's sort of the role that we know him to be best at. So I do think that he'll fit well in the West Ham system. Also I've said this before. West Ham has like a very cyclical form, so I could totally see them just riding the wave of this new manager and getting a win.
I see. Okay. Also, I don't remember if for the Chelsea Bournemouth match if I said my score line. So I have a 2-0 prediction. Um,
Okay.
so I put that in there. But for this match again, I also have a 2-0 win for Fulham.
Okay.
But I also do want to put a time. Should I put times two multiplier? Yeah,
I,
I'll put
I
a
should
times two. I'll put a times two multiplier.
Okay,
Why
I'll
not?
also put a times two multiplier. I will say my score is 2-1. I want also one other thing I want to bring back is that Fulham, I've said this many times before, have a good midfield. But I think
Yes.
West Ham, I think I've talked about this guy a lot already, but I think a player like Aaron Wan-Bissaka can be sort of the X factor that West Ham uses to attack on the wings, provide crosses, and help them score and circumvent that advantage that Fulham have.
Mm. Okay. All right.
All right. Is that all you guys have to say for this one?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Next one. I've been waiting for this one for a real long time because, yes, on one hand, we got Liverpool, top of the league, Kaibo's favorite team. And on the other hand, we have Nottingham Forest, who are in tip top shape, and our favorite team as a collective. And
Hmm.
this is uh this is like a championship battle.
Yeah, for sure. And this is a championship battle, absolutely. I know we have, at least it seems like we aren't on the best form right now. We drew 2-2 against Relegation United, and we lost 1-0
Relegation
against
United is crazy.
Really?
against.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a
dude, come on. Objectively, it's true. It's true. And we lost 1-0 against. I mean, Tottenham. So clearly we aren't on the best form right now. However, Arne Slot's teams historically have played a lot better in the second half of the season. In fact, he went undefeated with Feyenoord um, in 2024. So I do believe that our form's going to pick up, right? Um, Again, this is a high level team, and we have played good against better teams this season. We really have. The first time we played against Nottingham, we didn't affect them. We didn't expect them to be that good. Let's be for real.
Mhm.
I don't think anyone did, right? But
That's
now we
true.
know what we're going into, right? When we play City, we play good. When we play against Arsenal, we play good. When we play against Madrid, we play good, right? We had that stint where we had a bunch of top teams, and we beat them all, right? So we
Okay.
know what Nottingham's like now. So I really do believe that Liverpool, we can go in there and get a win.
Okay.
And I have a 3-2 win. I believe this is going to be a high scoring game.
All
wow,
right.
that's not
I
okay.
also have a 3-2 prediction. And I want to start off by talking about Mohamed Salah. Um, I think there's a very good argument to say that this guy is the best player in the world right now. And
Easily.
there are also, I mean, he said that this is his last year for Liverpool, and obviously
Okay, he can
there's a
say.
window of opportunity. Okay, hang on, no, let me finish. There's a window of opportunity for that to not be true, but he's clearly stressed about his future at Liverpool, and I think after that breaking news, it's showing. In that match against United, I think we can objectively agree his head was not fully in the game. He was not playing well. He was making bad decisions. He wasn't attacking
Nope.
as much as he usually does.
Disagree. Disagree.
Really?
I
Okay.
respectfully
Wait,
disagree.
what?
I don't believe you just watch enough Liverpool games. If you look at a lot of Mo Salah's games, this guy, like a lot of the time, he, a lot of games he will play like that, right? I'm a Mo Salah fan, but a lot of times he is not very attacking. He's not very aggressive, right? But all he ends up doing is just scoring a pen or scoring a tap in, and then people say he has a decent game, right? Mo Salah, a lot of the time, yes, he will be sort of passive like that, and that's just an on and off thing. Right, it's just this year he has been a lot more aggressive, but that's just a one-off thing, and I don't believe that's because of that interview.
Okay, well, I don't understand the logic. I understand sometimes that's a tactical playstyle, but in the specific context of you're playing United at home, their weakness, as we all know, is their center backs. Why not go for it in that situation?
I'm sure he was
He
trying to go for it.
he
No,
just
but like Kaibo and I were both agreeing he was not all that very attacking in that match.
he was
Uh,
not, absolutely he was not. But
I
to
mean,
be honest with you, I think that it's that's I don't know. Like to be honest with you, like he's had a lot of questionable games like that too. I don't feel like it's the fact that because United's weakness is that, like it's just his form goes up and down. It's just as simply as that. Like I don't think there's any deeper explanation.
Well, okay, perhaps this is a one-off, but the fact that it's just so happened to align with that, I mean, let's call a spade, the bombshell news. I feel like there might be a bit more than just, one game he happened to have bad form. I feel like there might be a little bit more there.
I
But
mean, go ahead.
that's just one thing I wanted to say. I would say that Kaibo talked about how Liverpool has beaten all of the giants of the Premier League, you know, but I would say that, Liverpool, you're up 6 points, you're a game in hand, but not to be a Debbie Downer, but I mean, you beat City when they were down bad. You beat Chelsea before they reached peak Chelsea form. You drew Arsenal. You beat Real Madrid before they figured out how to tactically play with their transfers. I think I think it's definitely fair to say that in the second half of the season, whether or not you win those matches, you can definitely still win all those matches, but it will not be as easy for you as it was in the first half of the season. I think you would agree with me on that, right? Like same
Yeah,
teams will be
yeah,
better this in the
yeah,
second half.
yes, for sure. Yes,
So
okay.
so I think Liverpool, it's like even now, they're definitely arguably the best team in the world. But on the other hand, you're looking at Nottingham. This team is playing at home. This team, I would say from the steps December of 2024 to now, Nottingham Forest have been the best team in the world. I know this is an extremely hot take, but they have won literally every game, and they've like barely even conceded a single goal in this like 7 or 8 game stretch. Like it's one thing to win all these matches. It's another thing to be that defensively sound and that dominant in tactically in all those games. The only teams that I've seen that be able to do that recently are like Liverpool this season, Madrid last season, City in their prime. Like this is definitely a unique team. Whether or not they win the title is another story, but this is a once in a generation team. And you know what? I believe in miracles. I believe that every so often there is once in a decade there is a team that goes out there and makes a true story. There is like there's a Cinderella run, there's a Ted Lasso esque team, and I would say this, if Liverpool unless Liverpool are just truly an undefeatable team, the one team that can defeat them is a team playing at home on the best form in the entire world. They have literally zero. I mean this, zero obvious weaknesses. I mean, literally, for example, their center backs, Milinkovic and Malero, pair together so perfectly. They have so many avenues of attack. Chris Wood has been dominant, and then as soon as you sub him off, you have Owoni, who is just incredible at neutralizing center backs with his physical aggression. So I think again, miracles can happen, and I agree with Kaibo. This is going to be a 3-2 game, and I think Nottingham will be the team that scores 3 goals.
Like, no, but
Yo,
like,
I'm
you
sorry,
got
dude.
legit reasoning.
That is that. I do not know what I just. Bro, wow. Okay, so that's the easiest times three multiplier that I've ever seen ever.
Wait, really?
Well,
Really?
Kaibo.
Easily
Well,
times
This
three.
Kaibo,
is
I think
that easy, bro?
Kaibo, I look back and think about all the times you put in a times two, a times three, even once a times six every time I refuse to disrespect Nottingham Forest. And at some point, I mean, this team literally, like, they have won every game in dominating fashion, like all of their last 8 games in dominating fashion. At some point, the disrespect has to stop. At some point, you have to acknowledge that at
They're
least
legit.
right now, presently, January 11th, 2025, this is the best team in the world.
I'll acknowledge it if they beat
And I'm
us.
gonna give and that's why I'm gonna give you a times three multiplier as well.
Wow. Okay. I do want to say though.
Okay.
Do want to say though, our team, we are going to show up, and I promise you that. Okay, you
I
saw
know
that
you're gonna show up,
in
man.
goal.
I'm not saying this will be easy. I'm
I just
saying this
want
is
to
gonna be
say,
a 5 goal thriller.
this game, you'll see why Trent is generational. Literally today in the FA Cup in the FA Cup game, right against Accrington Stanley, that beautiful goal that he scored, he is going to be like that. Okay, Mohamed Salah, he will be attacking right after that shit show, against Man United, he will be back. Virgil van Dijk will be back in 2019 prime form, right? Like, dude,
You're
we will be
well, those are those
untouchable.
are those are assumptions, and what I would say to that is that also in this
Chris,
match, you're going to see prime Chris Wood playing like the best striker in the Premier League right now. You're
Yeah,
going
and
to see Anthony
Virgil van
Alanga
Dijk will
in his
absolutely
prime.
lock him down. I'm
No, no, no,
sorry.
and
Uh,
you're gonna see Tino Awoni subbed on in the 70th minute, and he is going to be too strong for the Liverpool defense to handle. You're going to see Liverpool can have all the set piece opportunities in the world, but you're going to see a player like Milinkovic completely knocked up, locked down all of the aerial threats that Liverpool has. You're going to see Hudson-Odoi and Anthony Allega prove why they belong in the Premier League and show that that this Nottingham wing attack is deadly. They have the wing attack of Brighton. They have a striker that is generational. They have the defense of a Premier League winning side. And you can say what you want about this about Liverpool's history, about how all of these players are experienced and they've been here and done that. But you know what? Nottingham Forest has been there and done that as well. And while the players that won the Champions League 50 years ago may not be here physically, the spirit of this team is strong, and that is
Oh
undeniable. And
my
you have seen it
god.
throughout the Premier League season this year. You
I
That is
bet
cannot
the
deny it.
players
We've
from
all
the
been
bench
we've
horrendous.
all seen it.
are watching.
Look, man, look. I do wish Nottingham Forest the best, right? I hope we can win like the fucking Champions League next year or something. That'd be funny. But this year's ours, okay? This is our year. Let us enjoy what we have this year. You can do whatever you want next year.
I'm
Next year, I
sorry.
don't give a
I'm
fuck.
sorry. I'm sorry that Arne Slot's special season has been overshadowed by the most incredible miracle season of any team in the Premier League in 10 years. But that's just the reality. That's what Nottingham Forest is right now. And if you open your eyes to the truth, that I mean, whether or not they win this game, whether or not they win the Premier League, this is the story in the Premier League of the decade.
Yeah.
Um, Look, I feel
Okay.
like you're very biased because you're a Leicester fan, and I can tell that. I can see that. You know,
Okay. I
the
don't. I but I
I,
you may say that, but I don't think it is controversial at all to say that this is the best storyline of any Premier League team this decade. Like I genuinely like what I if it's not this team, what do you think it is?
um 2020 Liverpool.
Okay, dude, but like can I be so for real though?
No,
Everybody like that was not all that surprising though, to be fair.
no,
Like
I disagree.
this is
I feel
you guys
like
literally just came off of winning the Champions League.
no, but I feel like that was the hardest Premier League ever won because it was the COVID
I
year.
cannot you cannot say that a season that was literally barred by COVID was the
Yeah,
hardest season ever won.
no, that's
That
why
Premier
it
League
was the
was
hardest
more of
season
an
ever won.
asterisk. That was more of an asterisk
No, 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 no,
than a
Wait, but like hardest season ever won does not necessarily mean that's the best story.
that's
dude.
also true.
Really?
Because I'm
All
just
right. We'll
saying
see. We'll see.
What Liverpool was doing could have been predicted by people that had the foresight. There is no amount of foresight and prognosis that would have allowed you to predict Nottingham to play as well as they have this year.
Think
Okay.
about it. Did anyone say that 2020 Liverpool was gonna finish 20th at the start of the season?
Yeah, did anybody say 2020 Liverpool is getting relegated? I don't think so.
All right. Okay. I mean,
But
sure,
guess
but
what, Kaibo? You yourself, you personally said 6 months ago that this team was going to be 20th in the Premier League,
I did.
and look where they are now, title contenders.
Okay.
More than halfway through the season.
All right. Sure. Let's see if they're actual title contenders. Let's see if they can play an actual. Because by the way, they haven't won against any strong other
They
than
literally
us.
beat you. They
No, no, no,
literally
no. They
already
did.
beat you
They
at
did.
Anfield.
They did. Yes. However, what I'm trying to say is we were not ready, and admittedly, we were not ready at all. Right? No one expected Nottingham Forest, especially at that time of the year. Nottingham Forest were not like up there. Right? They weren't a team that people expected to stay at the top of the Prem. Right? So we didn't expect that. Right? But every other time they've played a top team, right? They have not won. Because when people know who they're playing against, when they know they're playing against a top flight team, Nottingham Forest crumble.
No, but to be fair, they've only gotten steadily better and better as the season has progressed.
All right,
They
so
played
let's
most of the
see.
strongest teams in the league. No, but they played most of the strongest teams in the league very very early on. The one exception to that I think would be City, but in that game they didn't play their best squad either because of the squad rotation that had to happen. And even then, they have dropped points to the best teams, and I don't think that we will expect that. I don't think we should expect to see that again. But I will counteract that by saying that Sure, they may have dropped points there, but they've compensated by literally winning every single game without exception that they were supposed to. They beat they beat United. They beat Aston Villa. Like, I would say that of the top four, by far the team that has dropped the least points that they weren't supposed to is Nottingham Forest. And
Agreed. You know, you're right. You're right. But I want to see them play against a top team. Now that they are in form,
sure,
right? Now
but
that
if you
people know who Nottingham Forest are, I want to see them play against a top team and win. And they have
okay, well,
not yet proved
I'm
that to
giving
me.
them the benefit of the doubt for now.
All right, and I'm not. I feel like their past records speaks for themselves. Okay, and I don't feel like when people know what Nottingham Forest is, when people know what they're going against, they crumble. That's all. They will beat teams that are worse than them. They will not beat teams that are better than them.
Kaibo, stay humble. Stay
Come on.
humble, eh? Stay humble.
Okay, we should definitely move on. But I think that was a good segment though.
Good
It will
second.
be
That was a really
it
good
will definitely
segment.
be a very close
We
game though.
we provided a lot of excitement there.
Yes, but it will
You know,
definitely be a very
hopefully
close game though. We can both agree that would be very high scoring. So
Yeah.
game of the week. Game of the week.
Yo, what happens if this is like a
this
nil-nil
might
snooze?
not
If this is
this might
like a
not be just
0-0
game of
snooze
the week.
fest, we're
This
gonna
is
look like
game of the year.
clowns. Huh?
Yo, wait, we are we are
Wait, what?
Nottingham just parked the bus. Holy
What
shit,
if
bro!
Nottingham just parked the bus and it's like 0-0?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
There's
I'm not
no way
gonna.
they'll pull up that Everton strategy, bro. That's
No.
only
It,
They won't.
they're
that's a
not
shot.
gonna do that, bro. The
They
way
won't.
if you look at Nottingham have played like a fearless team this entire like if anything fearless to a fault. Like this is definitely there's definitely gonna be fireworks.
They're
Yeah,
they
yeah,
ain't pulling Sean Dyche strategy unless they suddenly fire their manager and hire Sean Dyche. They're not parking the bus.
yeah. Until they're not. Yeah, for sure.
All right, but you know this might not be just the game of the week. This is game of the year.
That's debatable.
Well, it's
Yeah.
hard to say now because we can't.
No,
Cause
it's
it's either this or
January,
Liverpool. It's either this or Liverpool Arsenal, and it's hard to make that determination
dude,
this right now.
It's January. I'm sorry. There's also Liverpool Arsenal was. What do you mean, bro? Oh, you mean Premier League season year, or do you mean as in
Yeah.
2025 year?
I
Uh,
You
assume
mean
you mean Premier League
Premier League
season.
season, right?
I mean, like either way,
No,
I
I
don't
don't.
think that changes your answer.
We're halfway through
You
the
know,
season. We're halfway through the season. I don't. I don't know.
That's definitely possible. This definitely could end up being like remembered as that one defining game. Like it's we could potentially look back at this and say that yes, this is the game that decided the
look,
Premier League.
if
That's
Nottingham
definitely like a
Forest,
possibility at least.
Yeah,
if Nottingham
potentially.
Forest wins this game, you know that will infinitely help his chances of being game of the year.
Yeah.
It will. It will. It will. But it also. Also depends on the context of this game, right? If Liverpool ends up winning anyways, then I don't think it's the game of the year. I really don't. But if
Well,
Nottingham
it
Forest or
depends on how.
if
But at that point, it depends on like is Arsenal second or Liverpool or is Nottingham Forest second? Because I would say maybe there's also a possibility that Liverpool end up running away with the league, and then Nottingham Arsenal becomes an incredible race for second, and then Nottingham ends up being in second because they managed to clutch up and get 6 out of 6 points from Liverpool, while Arsenal are not able to do that.
that is true, yes, I guess so. I suppose so. But I don't know. I just feel like there are more candidates. I feel like there's a lot. There's too much of the year left to make that prediction. To say that, you know.
To be fair, there will be a Nottingham Arsenal matchup or in like a month.
Yes,
Oh,
and
that's
I
gonna be
am
fun.
excited for that, man. I am very excited for that. All
All
right,
right,
should probably
we'll
move
move
on.
on.
Yeah,
Newcastle versus Wolves. You know, Newcastle they look on tip top form. They're looking real good now. They're like a monster right now.
absolutely. And Wolves have only won 2 of their last 16 Premier League away games.
Okay, but
So,
Kaibo, those were under a different manager than their most
and I
recent
don't give
season.
a
So I
fuck.
don't.
It's Wolves. I don't care. Newcastle's playing amazing.
No, Kaibo, I
3-0
agree with you. That was just
Newcastle.
the most dog shit logic possible to explain it.
I don't care. 3-0 Newcastle doesn't affect my prediction.
I'll say 3-1. I mean, we do have to agree that Wolves has an incredible offense.
They do. They do. Ah, yeah, okay. Maybe 3-1 is a yeah. But
I mean, okay, to be fair though, I mean I looked at this. And let me
yeah.
just make sure this is still accurate because I don't yeah, this is accurate. In the 2 games in 2024 so far, their front three has already gotten 4 goals and 2 assists.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah, I do want to say, next 5 years, Newcastle will be winning the Premier League.
I mean, that oil money, dude.
Unless
Oil money. Absolutely, I agree with you there. That's a
unless
good take.
City go on this like unless Kusanov and Marmoush become like um Erling Haaland, like player of the season level, like they become solidified like players. Um, I think Newcastle will. I mean, the oil money is just too much, man.
I mean,
Um,
I like the Newcastle project. I think like we've seen what City happens to City this year. Like they're not gonna be undefeatable 5 years in a row. And whenever they slip up again, I think Newcastle, the way they've been building up this project, they're gonna be knocking on that door.
that is true. Yes, they are gonna slip up eventually, but I genuinely like. I mean, with these new signings, I don't think they're gonna slip. But like, they are making good young signings. They're letting players go. Kyle Walker has literally asked to leave the club. That's some recent news. Like they are making like it's almost like how Real Madrid they let players go when it seems like they're in their prime or whatnot, but then with the second they go, you realize, oh, that's why you let them go.
Yeah,
Like
there's more
like
to it than people. It's also like another good example, like with Liverpool, you guys like getting rid of Ferran Torres. It seems like in his prime, but then he goes to shit like right after he leaves your club.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I would say I would say us Liverpool, we got the best out of a lot of players, man. A lot of
Yeah,
players.
you really did.
So that's something that's really, and another thing is we signed them for cheap. Um, Other teams like Madrid, they signed these really well known youngsters. And they end up being good and they whatever. But we take players that are basically rejected from their own clubs and we
Yeah,
make them into
pretty much.
stars. So
I just want to say
there's
one
levels
point
to this.
though.
Yep.
Kaibo knows this. I've been talking about the Uzbekistan national team in general for about like the past year. I think
Oh yeah.
over the next few years, we're going to see a lot more players coming out of that Uzbekistan squad that are going to go into big teams. Like I think this is the start of a golden generation for that country.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, yeah. I do want to give a shout out to Darian for that. Like
I pointed
this
that out
is
before anyone else did.
that is true. Yeah, I mean, this guy just look at his highlights, man. This guy is insane, man. 20 years old and
Incredible.
he's throwing people around like that. Like, I think Pep is genuinely the perfect player for him because I mean, he has the physicality, he has that mentality, right? But give him more technical ability, right? Give him vision, right? Give him what he gave to Rodri because like it was like when Rodri was at Atletico and he came here, right? He was good on the ball, but he didn't understand the game like he does now, right? You give that to a defender like Kusanov, like that is how you go from Wonder Boy to generational talent. Yeah. All right, guys.
All right. Is that all
Yeah,
you guys
that's all I
want?
got.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on. Okay. So first, we need a moment of silence for my goat, Sean Deitch. You know, he
You
was
know, Everton.
fired.
I just want to
He was
say, hey,
fired recently.
Everton management. If you guys are hearing
Uh,
this, you deserve to get relegated, and I hope you do.
okay. See, Everton would not be where they are without Sean Deitch, and I think we will see that in their matchup versus Aston Villa.
To
There
be
is
honest
nothing
with
to be
you,
said here.
yeah, like Aston Villa will win. I have an Aston Villa I have an Aston Villa 2-1 win. But another interesting thing is, Everton are winless in their last 11 Prem matches against Villa. However, Aston Villa have lost each of their last 5 Premier League away games. But again, with I mean, Sean Dyche going away, which I really don't understand why they would sack Sean Dyche. Like, I really
Yes,
don't get
they're
it.
literally the
I think
perfect manager for the situation. Like,
Uh-huh.
dog, the like I if club management thought that the position Everton in right now is below their standards, then their standards were delusional. Because this team is objectively not good enough for the Premier League. The only reason they're above the relegation zone is because Sean Dyche is a miracle worker.
Yeah, for sure. Like I
Uh-huh.
genuinely think for Everton standards, they were surprising me, and they were in a very, very acceptable position. Like why? So again, I don't believe any manager really can just come into this situation and grab a win against an upper table Aston Villa team. I don't see that
Exactly.
happen.
The most
Mhm.
surprising thing actually Kaibo said is that he thinks that Everton will even score a goal. I think it's going to be 2-0.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I was really debating that. But I mean, I'm sorry, man. I mean, when West Ham and when Leicester score against you, um, no offense, but I think I will give Everton, the benefit of the doubt.
I would argue
Yep.
that Everton is about to be a worse team than Leicester moving forward.
That's
But
Yeah. No,
that could
you're
I
right.
could be
I agree with you.
I could be wrong. I mean, there's a lot that remains to be seen, but I just don't think the
yeah.
squad is good enough.
No,
Wait,
you're
but do you
right.
think? Well, you think? Do you think Everton is worse than Leicester, like talent wise, like
Yeah, they
players
are.
wise?
I think they are.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
I think Fatawu can. Fatawu is worth more than the entire Everton team.
Well, besides take away Braithwaite, and unironically that's true.
Yeah, like just objectively, like Leicester just have so much talent, and they've consistently had so much talent. So
Well, we don't
yeah,
have a lot of. It's just that we have like a couple of young players right
yeah,
now. I wouldn't
they're
say it's like
proliferating
it's
though.
not crazy talent, but there's something there.
No,
Wait.
yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, Everton is just they're all right, but it's like Leicester. You guys have been known historically to have good talents out, So yeah.
Wait. If Everton gets relegated, is Jordan Pickford staying with Everton?
That's a good question. To be honest with you, is any other Prem team gonna want him? I mean, if he wins the Golden Glove, isn't he in Golden Glove contention?
I
Uh,
think some other like low. I think some other lower mid table team can definitely decide him.
yeah,
Like I could see him like playing for like Wolves or
yeah, for
something.
sure, for sure. I mean, Wolves are getting relegated too.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
well.
dude. Okay, come on, dude.
No, can I be honest with you? Well, they're already ahead of the relegation zone.
They are.
They're currently ahead of the relegation. They're currently above the relegation zone. I would say the three teams that are below them are worse than them, and now I think Everton are about to be worse than them. So I think honestly, I think Everton, by sacking their manager, have just opened up a slot for every other team. Like they have just thrown a lifeline to Wolves, Ipswich, and Leicester.
And they've thrown themselves into a relegation.
Yes, they dug a 6 feet hole, jumped inside it, and threw away the rope to someone else.
That is crazy imagery. But yeah, no, objectively, you're right. Yeah, should probably move on though.
All right. They'll stay on the topic of relegation. Leicester versus Crystal Palace. Leicester, you guys have it tough so far, Darian.
Through
You
relegation
know,
dog fight.
ooh, 5 losses in a row
That is,
for you guys.
I know it's bad. I understand that it's bad. However, I would like to make a couple prefaces. 4 of those matches were Newcastle, Liverpool, City, and Villa. What were we supposed to do? The other one was Wolves, and that was actually undefendable. Losing 3-0 to Wolves is actually crazy work. However, it's not as bad as it sounds, I think, because that's genuinely a really difficult schedule. Now, the thing with Palace, right? They play three at the back. And we, as Kaibo alluded to earlier, have crazy wingers. We have Fatawu, Malvedini. I think we're going to be able to exploit their wing attack. And I know I've crapped on Van Nistelrooy before, but if there's one thing that Van Nistelrooy has genuinely done very well, it's making the most of these young wingers that we have. So I think we're going to be able to poke holes in that Crystal Palace defense. And while they'll probably be able to do the same thing for us, their front three is less consistent than our front three, in my opinion. So I think we can win this 2-1.
Interesting. Um, I believe that you guys will lose 2-1. I believe Palace will pull this off. And to counter your
Bro,
argument
I
on
should have said my multipliers. God damn it. What?
and to counter your argument on the three back, guess who else had a three back? Wolves, and you guys lost 3-0. Yikes! Right? I mean,
Oh my goodness.
you
Okay.
guys have 2 draws and 1 loss in the last three
To be fair,
for
Oof.
Palace.
okay. All right,
I
sure.
mean, 5 straight Prem losses. I mean, you guys
But
lose.
okay, but like I mean again, but okay, but against 4 of them are against top 6 teams in the Premier League though.
Yeah, and then you guys lost 3-0 against us three back.
Okay,
So
that one game. That's one game. Ruben
that's
Nistelrooy
one. That's one.
he is still adjusting to the system. It's one game.
Holy.
Still, how long do you think you need to
Yeah, I mean,
adjust to the
do you
system?
not think he'll still be? I think he'll still be
Right
adjusting.
now, this is no. Right now, this is when they come back. This is when they come back.
Oh,
Wait,
really?
Right now.
so if you guys, Darian, if Leicester loses this one, do you think that you guys just is you guys it is what it is?
If Leicester loses
It's
this
not the
one,
system.
I'm
It's
gonna
not
I'm
the
gonna go
system.
back to I'm gonna go back to my to sadness and go back to crapping on Leicester like I did every episode before today.
So this is your one happy episode, I guess.
This is yeah, I want to just be happy one time.
All right, all
Okay.
right.
Well, unfortunately, I don't think you will be happy, but
Well,
that's
unfortunately,
okay, Darian. It's
let
okay.
me say, unfortunately, I think I used up my multipliers too early.
Okay. Wow.
Darian, do you think that you will still be talking about Leicester like next year in our prem predictions?
Probably not. I don't see it happening. I think Everton being the way they are probably bumps up from us up from 19th to 18th. But we were relegated 2 years ago in 18th place, so I think history just repeats itself.
Yeah. Goodbye, buddy. No. All
I will
right.
screw you. Hey,
Yeah.
at least if Leicester do get relegated, you're not gonna be able to crap on me every week in these episodes.
No, I still will. I feel like yeah, but I mean,
You'll
with that
find
logic
ways.
too, like for example, with our match day predictions, right? You may be up already 20, but hey, my club is up 20 points from your club, so
I think it's
who's
a
the
bit more
real
than
winner
20.
here?
I think it's a bit more than 20, by
It's
the way.
quite no, it is
It's
quite more than 20.
32. It's 32.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah, it's
wait.
quite more than
Serious
20.
question.
But
By the end of the series, what will be the bigger gap? My points gap with Kaibo or Leicester's points gap with Liverpool?
dude, I think
Well,
objectively, Liverpool gap.
Probably, but I
really?
mean, I'm just saying, like
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah. The thing is, Liverpool's gap will increase by 3 points every single week.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think I can increase by 3 points every single week. I mean, Kaibo's not that smart. I mean, didn't I increase by 5 points last week?
That is true.
Okay, keep telling yourself that. We'll see what happens. All right.
All right. Okay. Anyways, let's move on. The Arsenal versus Tottenham.
Okay. I do have an Arsenal win here. Unfortunately, I do see Tottenham's form slowly picking up. However, I don't believe that they're this consistent. Like I said before, they're Tottenham. Okay. They play good, they play bad. They play good, they play bad. It's typical Tottenham. Okay. Arsenal are unbeaten in their last 12 home games. And I do want to say this. Betting tip, not that and I'm legally I'm not
Okay.
condoning
Yeah.
betting. Legally
Preface.
in GTA,
In
okay?
GTA.
In GTA, in GTA, if you want to bet on Kai Havertz, well, all 11 of Kai Havertz's goals have been scored in London. Okay, so I really would bet on Kai Havertz scoring in GTA. Okay, so
In GTA.
that's just a little tip. I would bet
Yeah.
on this game
Okay.
in GTA. Yeah, 3-1 win for Arsenal.
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, I cannot bet for Tottenham when they're playing Arsenal and their injury and suspension list is literally a starting 11. When it's so big, it doesn't even fit on my phone screen. When not only your starting goalkeeper is injured, but also your backup goalkeeper. When you have a back four of center backs all injured simultaneously.
That's actually crazy.
Yeah, I mean, dude,
So
yeah.
I think it's fair to say this Arsenal offense, bro, is gonna be feasting on that Tottenham defense. And as that son of a bitch Ange Postecoglou continues to refuse to stop playing a highline, bro, I think Arsenal are gonna score minimum 3 goals. And you know what? The one thing going for Tottenham is I feel like every game they manage to scrape by 1 goal because either Son or like Kulusevski will do some crazy devil's magic and either score or like make a crazy pass to get an assist. So I think 3-1 is going to be my score prediction.
Yep, that's what I had to.
All right. Then we move on. Ipswich versus Brighton.
Man, okay, I have a hot take here. I have an
Oh no.
Ipswich
God, I should have saved my
win.
multipliers. Oh
Ipswich
my god, I
win.
should have saved
I
my multiplier.
repeat,
I'm totally saying that.
I, I repeat, Ipswich win.
Darian, wait, you
Okay.
moved too quickly.
Now, I think
Should have saved
this
multipliers. Damn it.
game. Hey, let me talk, bro. I think my logic is pretty good here. Okay,
Okay,
this
okay.
is a template this is a template matchup for an upset here. Brighton are winless in their last 8 Prem matches, and we see Ipswich are really on the up. Ipswich have picked up just as many points and have scored as many goals in their last 2 games that they have
Two
compared to their
games. The
previous
the the the
7.
the, uh, the,
Uh,
the, 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 the sample size is 2 games.
Okay, but no, but I mean I think that they've done the same number of they've had the same number of points and they've scored the same number of goals they had in the last 2 games compared to their previous 7. That shows a turnaround,
Oh, that's where you're going with that. Okay.
right?
okay, but what if they just lose their next 5? It will be the same.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
What if? Yeah,
okay,
I mean,
sure, but I mean, dude, going off of the current trend, Ipswich are on the up, Brighton are on the down. Okay,
Kaibo,
so I
clearly you
think
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
this is this is a very very obvious upset. I have a 1-0 win for Ipswich.
Maybe if it wasn't Ipswich and it was some other lower table team, I would agree with you. But remember what I said a few episodes ago about Ipswich having the cyclical form where they will play well for 1 to 2 games and then go back to shit and proceed to lose the next 3? Look at their form. That's literally what's been happening. So if that pattern continues, you may think their form is good right now, but then this match, Liam Delap is going to ghost and their midfield is going to go to crap. All right. This is the Ipswich model. I've been disappointed by them one too many times, and you haven't, so that's why you still have a bit of faith in them. But early in the season, when I was really tight with this team, like they can definitely potentially survive relegation. I'm really losing faith in them now. Um, I know Brighton. I like do seem kind of cursed, so I do get the logic, and I was kind of like over exaggerating a bit before. But I mean, again, this attack is just completely reliant on one player. Their midfield, I don't think is properly equipped to deal with Brighton's wing attack. So again, I think Brighton could slip points here, but they'll probably finally get back to winning ways. Although if they do slip points, I'm actually like completely done with gassing up Brighton. But for now, I'm gonna give them faith one last time and say they win 2-0.
Hmm. Okay, interesting, interesting.
All right then. That brings us to our last matchup today: Man United versus Southampton.
Man,
Southampton, yeah,
this is the
go, just go.
funniest. The this is the funniest match. This is the funniest. Like, if I were to give like a clown award to a match in this match day, this would be that match. Okay, like
You know,
I 100% see Man United going from drawing against the number one team in the world to losing against Southampton. But unfortunately, I have to give this to Man United. Surely, like, there's no way, right? Like, I don't know.
Kaibo, I'm gonna say this: if Nottingham vs Liverpool is the match of the week, then Man United Southampton is the trash of the week.
Yeah, exactly,
I'm
exactly.
saying that even though there's literally a relegation battle match in the same week, by the way.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah,
Yeah, but Man United is a
But
team
this is
that you.
probably gonna somehow be worse.
yeah.
Okay, I will give a bit of credit. Remember how before I said why is Amarin playing a back three and not playing Lenny Euro? Well, he did play Lenny Euro against Liverpool, and it went pretty well. And you know who else is coming back into form under that back three? Maguire. It's Harry Maguire finally for the first time, and it seems like forever, playing in a system that actually somewhat fits him. Now, I still tend to not have a lot of faith in this club. So while I'm going with a Man United win, I'm going to predict it in the most disrespectful way possible and say they scrape by with a 1-0 victory.
Okay, I had a 2-1 win, so
Okay.
kind of
Same
scraping by
similar.
two. But I mean, yeah, no, absolutely, you're correct. Yeah, like I don't know, man. Man United is gonna do Man United things, you know.
But we'll see. Amarim, it might be the game where he pulls everything together, puts everything together, and then just dominates.
I do want to say though, where are the Man United transfer rumors? Is he just waiting until Gyökeres is a free agent, or is he? I mean, I think that is a smarter move. He only has 6 months left on his contract. Why spend like 60 mil if you can just wait six
Yeah,
months?
that's true.
Um, but again, I mean, I thought there are a lot of other places where he could get. Actually, are there? I think it's just a striker that he's really
I mean,
missing. To
I
be
think the
honest with
striker
you,
issue is definitely the most pressing issue because they
everything
don't have a
else.
proper number nine.
Yeah, absolutely. I think everything else, the wingbacks are an issue, but it's not skill, it's not people. They just are not understanding the system properly. If you actually look at how Man United play, right? The people that like not looking at the Liverpool game because the Liverpool game was a clear exception, right? But if you look at Dalot and Mazraoui, they aren't playing the system properly. Like, when someone carries up the ball, you as a wing back have to push up. You're running up. These guys don't run up. They just walk up the field as if they're just a normal, as if they're just a center back. And
Right.
that's not a quality issue. That's just not understanding the system properly, and that comes with time. Their team is very, very solid. Just get rid of Hoyland. I'm sorry, I don't understand. Like, where is the hype in Hoyland? I've never seen the hype in Hoyland at all. He does not belong in the Premier League. I'm sorry, he doesn't.
This guy's just the worst Holland dog. He's literally just Holland. He's like we're not going to McDonald's. We have Holland at home. Like that's literally what Hoyland is.
No,
That's
but
crazy.
genuinely, this guy does not belong in the Premier League. I've never seen the potential that people see in Hoyland ever. I've never ever seen it.
Bro,
Like,
they just changed a couple letters in Holland's name. They just slightly tampered with the flag of the country a little bit, and then they created this guy.
no, yeah, dude, I'm literally telling. If this guy's name was something else that was a little more distinct, he would not be playing in this club. Okay,
Unironically, that's how shit
like.
the Man United scouting is.
But genuinely, this team is a good team. The only problem is their striker, and they need to get used to the play style. Look at their players; it fits, right? You have solid line of defense. You have a solid young midfield. You have a solid attack. You just need Walmart Holland out of here. That's all you need. So I know I said this in my Premier League prediction video, our very first episode or our second episode, technically. For those who know. But um, I am genuinely excited for Man United next year. I know I was excited for them this year, but I mean, I'm sorry, that went out the window. But Emerin does seem different. He really does seem like he knows what he's doing, and he seems really optimistic. So very excited for that.
All right. That's all the matches we have for today. Is there anything else you
Yeah,
guys?
Darian, do you have anything you want to talk about?
Well, I was gonna talk about the title race, but I think we seem to be in agreement there.
Yeah, we are in agreement there, which
I
is,
think just for the viewers' sake, I think we have both agreed it's pretty clear the only three teams with a chance of winning the title are obviously Liverpool and then Arsenal and Nottingham. I think Chelsea have
yes,
shown that they're not ready yet. City are too far behind.
yeah, yes, absolutely. I do feel like Chelsea do not seem like a like I. This is a hot take, okay? I
Okay.
don't see this current Chelsea team with the players, like even if you give them more experience, more time, I don't see this Chelsea team winning the Premier League in the next 5 years. I don't. I feel like this Chelsea team is a tournament team. They are not is like a cup team, a Champions League team, maybe. They're not a Premier League team.
I think Chelsea in general are just a cup team.
They that is true, but I'm saying especially this team that they have right now. They they have cup potential. They don't have league potential.
I think you're right.
Um,
I do. I think you're right. I want to hear your reasoning
yeah,
though.
they are just too inconsistent. They're like they when you have an attack and the number of players that you have that are rotating in and out and that constant pressure of feeling shit. If I don't perform this week, someone else is just gonna replace me, right? People aren't like you aren't consistently gonna be playing like every match or whatnot, so you can't really get into that flow. Which honestly, like, and also just Chelsea just historically just aren't a league team. They've been known to play a lot better in cups. So yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna just say, to be fair though, how inexperienced, how much can we glean their lack of consistency right? How much can we glean from their lack of consistency right now when their literal oldest player is Ben Chilwell? Like I feel like we gotta let them cook. We gotta put them in the crock pot, give them a bit of time, okay? Like their oldest midfielder is like 24. Like let's
That is
give them a bit
true.
of.
Okay, so I do want
However,
to ask you this question then, okay?
okay,
I do want to ask you this question, okay? In 5 years, who's going to be more scary? Manchester City or Chelsea? And keep in mind, this is assuming that Manchester City are still going to be making these kind of signings, like Marmoush,
Well,
Kusanov.
are we
Like
assuming
they're
Chelsea will?
repeatedly
Are we
going to be
assuming Chelsea
chasing
will as
players,
well?
and players are going to be repeatedly.
Are we assuming Chelsea will as well?
Yes, but if we look at what Chelsea are doing right now, if anything, they're offloading. They're not signing new players. At least currently, right now, they signed a bunch of players last season and the start of this season, but right now at least what the rumors suggest is they're offloading.
That's true,
So
but I would say that you have to give them a bit of time to offload, consolidate the team, make a few new key signings in some areas, and then they will be title contenders. I agree with you right now. This squad currently are not a team that can win the league in 5 years, but I do think that they're. I do see the potential in this project.
yeah, I think it really also depends on how well the players do develop. I think Nani Madueke has a lot of potential. Whoever plays on the on the left hand side, maybe Sancho, maybe Joao Felix, maybe I don't know, like Pedro Neto. Who knows, right?
True. Maybe
One
we
of
pivot
them needs
Pedro
to
Neto. I can
step
see
up.
that.
Yeah, one of them needs to step up, and one of them needs to be a consistent, reliable player. And Nicholas Jackson is clearly coming into form. Cole Palmer, you don't have to talk about. Moises Caicedo and Fernandez, they are, I mean, I would argue they're finally justifying their expensive price tag, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
So, the only problem right now is their defense and their goalie, I would say. Um, that stuff is just way too inconsistent. So if we were to get one or two more consistent defenders, and I guess they are just a few players away from, I mean, being genuine league contenders.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
But they got a lot of players on their roster.
they do. Yes, and I believe they do have to start offloading, and they have to take that money and invest it in positions where they actually need it.
Yes. They still have six goalkeepers.
Yes,
Six
and by the
goalkeepers is
way,
crazy.
all of them are bad. Like, not all of them are like mid and not league winning level.
Like
Um,
honestly, the Tottenham managers are looking at the amount of goalkeepers Chelsea has, and they're begging for like communism at this point. Like this is
yeah.
it's actually crazy how bloated this Chelsea squad is.
Um, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, do you have anything else to talk about? I know Darian is lagging a lot right now, at least for
Yeah,
me.
he is like here right now.
So,
Bro,
to be
what?
honest with you,
Okay.
was
All right,
not
let's just cut.
too
Let's
sure
cut the
about what he
episode here
said.
then. Let's cut the episode here if
But
I'm
yeah,
lagging.
let's cut the episode here. Yeah, that
All
is
right,
true.
sure. We're at 57 minutes.
Wow,
Jeez,
this could be our first hour longish episode. Honestly, it did not feel that long. It felt like a standard episode.
it
So
did.
it's interesting. I
Oh,
think we just had
I
more
think we
stats.
probably spent like 10 minutes alone on Nottingham versus Liverpool.
Yeah, I mean,
But that means we spent 50 minutes on the other 9 matches still.
yeah, that is true. Yeah, we also just had, yeah, that is true. Yeah,
Yeah, so can we not do your news drop?
it's fine. I mean, I think I did drop a lot of news just throughout my
No, yeah,
predictions.
he kind of did already.
There's nothing else new really. I mean, yeah, there's not much. But again, all this news is really changing. I'm sure it's gonna change a lot. Even tomorrow, I'm sure there's gonna be some news that's gonna be dropping. But I do want to say to the viewers, when I am less busy with school, so that will probably be around mid to early February, I will start dropping Premier League or just general football news shorts, right? This could be anything at all, just transfer rumors, just funny things that I find in like the Bulgarian second league, maybe. Like anything random, anything that's funny, anything that's entertaining. And I feel like a lot of you guys would love that because me personally, I love that kind of content, right? So look forward to that.
All right. I think that's a perfect way to end up our episode.
All right.
So, yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. If you're still around, right, make sure to subscribe, make sure to like the video, comment your favorite part. And again, go in the comment section and support Liverpool, all right? We need to win the Prem or else all of our players are leaving. And I'm not going to
Sup-
be very happy because of that, right?
support
So
support Nottingham Forest.
support.
Yeah, or support Nottingham Forest.
All right, okay. But again, make sure like the video. Thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure you subscribe and see you guys next week. Peace.
See y'all.